La 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 la! Welcome to the Media Speaks live Saturday show every Saturday on YouTube, Stitcher, Podkicker, the website, the internet, the infosphere, everywhere. You can even listen to this show in your mind if you are schizophrenic. We have a great show today, a lot of guests because we're going to play a special Father's Day version of Who Done Said It. So I got a ton of people with me today here on TMS Live with us. I'm just going to go from left to right from what I see on my screen. You can't see it at home because you're not good enough. You don't run the show. You don't get access to this special behind-the-scenes seeing of faces. We have with us Bo Short. How are you doing, Bo? I said, how are you doing, Bo? I think Bo is muted. That's okay. We also have with us of Indigo Children Radio, a good friend of the show, longtime friend, Lucian Farrow. How you doing, Lucian?
Doing very well. How are you?
Thank you for coming on the show. Next in line from Resist the Tyranny, you might know him as the bearded guy with a lot of AK-47s. We know him as Matt Winklejohn. How you doing?
All right, Kyle, man. Thanks for having me.
And then the guy who always has misspelled signs behind him, AJ Flynham.
What's going on, y'all?
And of course I am joined by the late, great, possibly baked D-Lake.
Hey, great, Kyle, man. Thanks for having me on the show. D-Lake for Press.
I'm excited. We got a good show. We got a ton of people here today to play Who Done Said It, but let's start off by jumping into some of the news. D-Lake, what have you seen in the news recently that's caught your eye over this past week? What did you want to bring up?
Oh, sure. Border agent laments gang members entering the U.S. Why are we letting him in here, he asks. Border Patrol officers are swamped by the number of minors crossing illegally into the United States and frustrated that they can't turn away known Mexican gang members, with tattoos on their entire faces.
Oh, Betty, that's just awful.
And the thing is, if we're going to talk real quick, and I want to get everyone's thoughts and opinions here, but if we're talking about illegal immigrants, I'd like to point out that just to me, the key word here would be illegal. Do it legally. What do you guys think, Bo?
Of course, let's put up the wall and make...
I'm all for a wall of China at the southern border. And, Bo, can you answer me this question? How come Canadians aren't coming across the border en masse now that Obama's signing the DREAM Act, but yet Mexican gang members apparently are?
I don't know, well, because maybe it sucks down there. I don't know, Canada's cool.
Yeah, Canada is pretty similar. They don't have a need to jump the border. I actually have a very simple solution to this problem. I've been thinking about this a lot recently with immigration bills being voted on and stuff. And I've come up with a solution that I think everybody could agree with. Everybody remembers NAFTA, right? North American Free Trade Agreement. What was the point of NAFTA? How did they sell that to the people? They sold that to the American people saying NAFTA is going to send a lot of these manufacturing jobs down to Mexico, helping out their economy and opening up more trade between us. So if we actually use NAFTA how it was supposed to be, tell these corporations, you have to set up a 10-year plan to take your operations out of India and China and send them to Mexico. Get all those, make all the iPhones, make all the Nikes and shit. Don't make it in China, make it in Mexico. All right, in Mexico they might want $4 an hour instead of $1 an hour. Big deal. You'll save on shipping costs, okay? And I could really give a damn about your costs if you're one of these giant corporations. But if we sent all those jobs from China and India instead to Mexico, we could improve their and we would have to at the same time get rid of our prohibition on marijuana because that's what keeps the drug trade operational. That's what keeps the drug cartels strong in Mexico. Legalize marijuana, which will kill the drug cartels the same way that legalizing alcohol pretty much destroyed the mafias. Legalize marijuana. It'll destroy the drug cartels. I need to say that multiple times. And bring all the manufacturing jobs to China, from China and India to Mexico. That will improve their economy enough. Illegal Mexicans, for the most part, I don't think they want to be here. I don't think it's about America. I think that if they could have a job and not be shot by a drug dealer in their own country, they would be happier there. They wouldn't be coming over here to begin with. And I think that if we did that, a lot of them would want to go back. That's where they're from. That's their home country. So legalize marijuana or decriminalize it. Get rid of the prohibition on marijuana. Bring all of those manufacturing jobs out of China and India to Mexico. Mexico will be a halfway decent country, and they won't have a desire, at least not nearly as many, to come over here. Does that make sense?
Matt, what do you think?
Well, I think the only problem I have with the immigration is not the legality of it. It's the money we spend on them. To think that we should bar a human being from going where they want, I think is insane. But while we're paying for millions of illegals, you, me, everybody who's paying taxes are paying for their college, paying for, their health care, paying for, their subsidies, paying for their welfare, because they're not, that many are not. It's not like they're all getting jobs here. They're coming here and they're collecting off of our system. Some of them are getting jobs. Some of them are productive members of society, but they're coming here and getting paid off of our system, off of what we as Americans made America into. And that's my problem with the immigration. Not them being here. If we tear down the system, what's the problem with them being here?
Well, if we legalized all of them, which here's the problem, you give them amnesty, and that tells people don't go through the proper legal channels, come here legally, and you will be made a legal citizen. But the combination, I don't think it's a horrible idea if you combined the Democrats' idea of immigration reform and the Republicans' idea of it, which is, obviously Democrats want amnesty. Republicans generally go towards more, let's fucking build a wall, let's tighten our security on the border. If we did both of those things, because I don't think we should kick anybody out. I really don't. If I lived in Mexico, fuck, I'd be swimming across the Rio Grande so fast it's not even funny. So we can't kick these people out for doing what any of us would have done. But if we give them amnesty, we need to make sure that that border is tight.
Well, would you would put your kid on a plane, or you would just tell your kid, hey, I know you're 7, but you got to go up here across this border with this mule here. Actually, if you could put these drugs on you, that'd be great too. Maybe put them in your body cavity somewhere or something like that. Cross the border, no problem. You'll get a bus to Baltimore, where they have new fancy Fandango illegal immigrant UAC hotels. And the United States taxpayer will pay for it. Just get on welfare. Don't worry about it. We don't care how many people are being carried, because we have plenty of people to carry the load. Is that how it's going to work? We're just going to pay for it?
Well, that's the thing. If we built the wall so that no more immigrants can come across in a quote-unquote illegal way, but then we gave the ones who are here amnesty, I feel like once you give them amnesty and you make them United States citizens, they can't really live that life. I'm going to tell you this.
No. The criteria to be a United States citizen is going to be pretty damn strict. And you know what's funny to me is that there's people from Sweden and parts of Europe that know the Constitution, and even Southern America, that know the Constitution and the Founding Fathers and all that stuff way better than any average American, because they just recently had to take the test to prove that they're American.
Definitely.
But these people that are flooding across the border, and all of a sudden all these Democrats are saying that it's going to be good for the economy, and Obama says these dreamer kids are our future, and they'll just let them join the military, with no background check. Oh, you just flooded across the border? Welcome to the Army.
Yeah, so what, are you building an army of a foreign army?
We're building a domestic army and a strategy to bankrupt the economy. I mean,
building an army of foreigners to use against the domestic people is what it seems like. Because if you told our boys over in the Marines and the Army right now, the guys who are from here, Americans, hey, you got to go shoot up some rioters in Detroit, they're going to be like, fuck you, we're not doing that. You get some people who aren't from this country. It's the same as, our guys over in Fallujah.
Hey, Lucian, can I ask you a question? How do you feel about UAC's unaccompanied children that came across the border illegally now receiving near $250 a day worth of boarding, feeding, and care at military bases and other facilities across the United States, actually receiving better care than United States veterans? And did you have any feelings about that, Lucian?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. It's very good to see everybody here. It's good to see you, Matt, and it's good to see you, Kyle, AJ, and Bo. I remember we did a podcast before. Mm-hmm. And I have to definitely second what Matt has said already. I believe a world with borders is no fun at all. There are so many beautiful places on this planet I would love to live and love to have more free access to. I think that the amount of children that are in this country receiving care at this time is an absolutely negligible number on a global crisis scale of children that need to be cared and feeding. Are the veterans suffering at some level? I believe that there's no doubt about that. Obviously,
do you believe it's a humanitarian crisis then?
I think that the humanitarian crisis.
Does it pale? You're saying it pales in comparison to a global humanitarian crisis?
It does pale in comparison. We have a number of broken systems right now, and the country is run by completely illogical means. And I think that if we were a more logically based run society, we would put a more end to this divisive political opinionated thing that's fueling all this. I mean, the children are here, they're being taken care of. I was under the impression at first that they weren't being taken care of well at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but now they're complaining that their eggs are too cold, and they're already entitled.
Well, it's Kyle made an excellent point. Mexico, there are places that are beautiful. I am completely influenced by Mexican culture. Everything from their food, I absolutely love it. Everything to the Corona, it's
my dog is a Chihuahua. So.
It sounds like little things, but and I have a deep and sincere relationship with Hispanic people. I understand that there's troublemakers everywhere of all different kinds, and it's easy to focus on this issue, and it has to be addressed. But personally, I don't have much of a problem with the children being here. I would like to see at least as many American children being equally well taken care of.
Do you have any problem with Dartmouth College banning fiesta parties? Because that could be racist, calling your party a fiesta.
Well, I lack the perspective to really shed intelligent light on what we perceive as the Hispanic immigration or illegal immigration.
It's called a fiesta.
There was a time, though.
Spanish words. I mean, just because every street in California is a Spanish word, I mean, we have to ban all those street signs now and everything. And Taco Bell, they're gone.
Well, there's a time there are people that are alive right now that can tell us what it was like to be completely abused as a white Irish immigrant, where they were just this, apparently the new, bad, disgusting minority that no one wanted. Same with the Chinese. That's not in perspective. I wish it was in perspective for us. Right now, the focus is on Hispanic individuals, South American individuals, Latin individuals, and what they do and don't do, and what they do and don't contribute. And unfortunately, it's created an unlimited amount of fodder to produce race-based media, and that's the most shameful thing, I think, is fueling this whole deal.
See, and
yeah,
I don't want
to do any race baiting, but Lucian, have you seen that movie Gangs of New York?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Yeah, good one, right? That's what kind of what you were saying, right?
I'm told as such. We have older members. Right? Yeah, there's probably not many of them, but they probably remember at least their fathers talking about what it was like to be a highly discriminated against, fairly Anglo-European, Welsh, Celtic sort of individual. We don't have that perspective nowadays, but it is certainly equally fueled into this awful race argument, race identity, and the borders issue. I don't support borders. It seems like it's un-American to say, but I mean that's a utopian fantasy. I understand.
Yeah, I support national borders.
See, I'm kind of
Sorry.
on the fence. I can see Lucian's point too, and I think there is something to, no illegal people, only illegal governments. I mean, people, human beings are of this earth as the fucking waters of the sea and the trees of the fucking forest, you know? So who is a government, an illusion of authority to say, you are this type of person, so you may not come over this line? Like, fuck you, this is land and I'm a human being. I can move. Like,
And that's what I was getting at with the system. You know, it's not them coming here that's the problem. It's
Right.
it's what it does. It's what our government and our system does with those people, and with our money and our tax dollars that should be going towards something else. I mean, let's face it. It's the system that makes it bad. It's not the act. It's not the immigration or the people. It's the system that's been set up in place. That is the whole reason we're even having this conversation, really. And I'd like to add that, we're not talking about 5, 10, 20 kids. We're talking about 50,000 children. Where do 50,000 children come from in that quantity? I mean, in that, it's not like they came in one at a time.
Guatemala,
We're talking.
50,000
Honduras,
I know
El
where they came.
Salvador.
I know where they came from, but we're talking about 50,000 people, 50,000 young people, not prepared, trained, and funded adults that made it across two borders, made it across the South American border and the United States border, through drug cartel-ridden Mexico, over 2,000 miles to here.
And what does that equal? I mean,
Are you
someone
telling me
had to
they
be
didn't
given,
have any help getting here? Are you telling me
yeah,
that?
someone had to be giving them up, right, Matt? I mean, how did they get here, right? Is that what you're trying to say, Matt?
That's amazing to me. That 50,000 kids with no training, no funding, no supplies can get to the United States all the way from South America without explanation, without us being told how it happened.
yeah,
Well,
somebody was driving trucks, somebody was giving them transportation, somebody was feeding these kids. Kids aren't just coming across borders, especially the fact that they're kids. They don't really know anything else. I mean, when you're a kid, it's like a kid growing up in the ghetto in Detroit doesn't really realize how bad his neighborhood is because that's what they've grown up with. These kids aren't aspiring on their own. There's no fucking Gandalf or whatever giving them a ring and saying, bring this all the way to America on the other side of the planet.
But Kyle, Matt, you're familiar with like coyotes and drug mules and all that stuff that goes on at the border, right?
Yep.
I mean, and now these gang members and all this stuff's coming across the border. Kyle, I'm sorry I cut you off. I just had to say that I mean, how many of these UACs, unaccompanied children, are bringing across drugs? Finally, there's Sam. Are we going to play the game? Matt, first, can you tell me your thoughts on that?
What about the 3 Navy ships on Iraq right now? Have you guys heard anything about this?
Matt, did you want to wrap up on the illegal aliens, and then if you had any thoughts about these ships going towards Iraq, Matt?
Oh, well, as far as the children that are here, I'm glad they're getting taken care of, and how, which sounds odd since I just said that, it's the system and the money that we give these people just to be here. But these are innocent children. I'm glad that they're getting taken care of. I don't know the purpose for them here. They were brought here for a reason. They didn't just accidentally stumble in America, especially in that numbers. They were brought here for a reason. Knowing our government, it's probably a nefarious reason, and that's what worries me the most about this whole thing.
I have to agree with Matt a little bit that I'm not saying I believe this, but it is very, very possible that these kids are being brought in here at a young age, right? We don't really know how they're getting here, why such a mass number of them are showing up alone. We take care of them, we put them in government institutions, we feed them, we train them, we educate them, and, a 10-year-old kid is only 8 years away from being military age. Once these kids come to age, 50,000 troops who really love the American government and don't really even know the public.
Yeah, being raised with the state as their daddy. Happy Father's Day, everybody. AJ, did you think that was funny?
Yeah, it was clever.
We have Don from Save America's Liberty chiming in with, I support minefields for borders. And I have to say, I disagree with that. A lot of people look at this in kind of a heartless way, that we just need to fucking shoot them at the border, make sure they're not coming in. But I mean, the situation of their country is not their fault. And yes, some of them are gangbangers. And yes, some of them are fucking, drug mules. But I don't know about you guys, but on an individual basis, I think Bill Hicks had the joke. AJ, maybe you can help me with this, where he said, he hears all the doom and gloom and war and crime and shit on the news, and then he goes and opens his front door and doesn't see any of it. Yeah. Where is all this stuff? I meet illegal Mexicans all the time, and
yeah, that's. If I could, actually, I worked on a tobacco farm with a few of them last summer, and the bigger one, or the biggest one, actually, before I even got my first paycheck or whatever, like, he bought me beer and like all sorts of shit, like, until I got paid, and then didn't even take the money when I got paid that he put up for me to have a good time.
Yeah, and I see these guys come in all the time, and like, they come into my work in the morning when they're leaving to go to the construction sites, and the owner of the business, which the guy who owns the truck, pretty much, he comes in with 5 other guys, and all the guys that are working for him, he's the head honcho, he buys all their stuff. They take turns buying things for each other. They're always super happy, smiling. Most of them are trying their damnedest to speak English and get better at it. It's like, these people, no, I don't want them blown up in a fucking minefield. I mean, offense is one thing, but I mean, these people are just looking for a better life 9 times out of 10. It's that 1 out of 10 who's a fucking gangbanger.
Yeah, but Kyle, my big problem with that is twofold. First of all, we cannot afford to have them here. They are killing the job market, because we have outsourced every job that they are working hard and doing well at now, the other jobs, but we don't have anything in this country anymore.
No, but you're absolutely right, Sam, but that's because our fucking political and corporate leaders have outsourced all the jobs. That's not their fault.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't work anymore. Second of all, if you break into Mexico, you're going to rot in a Mexican prison. They don't allow us to do it, and I am adamantly against them coming here illegally. Now, I've said, and I stand by the fact that it needs to be cheaper, it needs to be faster, and it needs to be done instead of immigration to the highest bidder. But this just walking across the border shit, I am sorry. I am absolutely against it. Send them home. I am totally against it.
And you see, I don't know, I see a conversation
and
going
I'm
on
part Mexican.
I see a conversation going on the chat on the side. I mean, Lucian and Matt, you seem to have some be pretty on base with me. I mean, I can't say send them back. I really can't say that as easy as that would be. Lucian, you were talking about how the Irish immigrants were like the Mexicans of the past. Everybody hated them and thought they were coming in.
Canadians, Kyle. If they're here illegal, send them back.
But here's the thing. It's a lot easier to spot a brown person than it is an Irish person. An Irish person can assimilate really quickly. They speak the
that's
same
racial
language.
profiling.
Yeah, they weren't assimilating at the time, and that was what was making everybody so angry. They came over there. They came over to America, and they were speaking this very difficult to understand version of, almost like a Irish Gaelic. I don't know what we would call it.
Yeah, like Gaelic.
And I'm certain that they had their own bad habits. I'm certain they brought their own bad, just bad elements, right? But the thing is everyone really hated them, and it's a cycle. But really, the system, as Matt was saying, is the problem. Like, for instance, a lot of people wouldn't understand my perspective on this, but I think the Middle East is beautiful. To me, I know it's in the eye of the beholder, but it's a beautiful, awesome place. I don't want it to be westernized. I don't want it to be deculturalized. I think that I should be allowed to go there in freedom and peace, to enjoy these people's company, to enjoy that land. Same with Mexico. And I've that's just my perspective.
Yeah, but traveling is great, guys, and you make it all sound fantastic and wonderful. But are you becoming a citizen of any of these countries that you're going to? Are you depending on their welfare state to provide for you? Do you
Well,
feel
it's a fantasy idea. I
entitled
understand.
when you get there? No, I know, Lucian.
Well,
You said earlier, you did outline it by saying it sounds utopian, and I agree with that. It does sound utopian.
But here's the thing, D. Like you brought up how they use our welfare and our benefits, which don't get me wrong, a good percentage of them do. Don from America's Liberty chimed in on the chat. There are no jobs, and the jobs we do have, they will do for less. And if they don't have a social security number, they cannot be taking our jobs. Here's the thing: a lot of these illegals here working in the country, and again, this isn't. It might be 50-50, it might be 70-20, but the ones that I see, the ones that I run into, they're all working, right? And they're all working, whether it be in construction, whether they be working at White Castle, wherever they work, they're generally working with a fake social security number. So a lot of these people, I don't know if they're taking benefits. I don't know if they're on Section 8, but I know that they're working, and I know that they're working with fake social security numbers. And somebody who's working under a fraudulent name with a fraudulent social security number is not collecting a tax return at the end of the year. So I feel like a lot of these illegal Mexicans are paying a decent amount of taxes into the system.
But
I don't know if that makes up for the other ones who are just taking benefits out of the system, but the ones that I run into, they're paying taxes and they ain't getting shit back for it.
But the thing is, I don't want illegals here if they are French doctors. They could be physicists from Russia. The greatest, not color, not. If you are not here legally, leave. It needs to be easier to get here legally, but it's not color. It's not race. It is a matter of we can't keep doing this.
Can you emphasize, Sam? Can you emphasize again within that point that you say all that and it sounds harsh. You also address that it should be easier for this to happen.
Much easier.
Can you address that point of it?
I'd love to, D. Like, people, we are selling the right to be in the country. If you have a lot of money and you're from Mexico, we'll bring you in. If you have a lot of money and you're from Canada, we'll bring you in. But if you have nothing and you're really smart, you can't get in.
Well, that's not necessarily true, Sam, because we have special visas and immigration platforms put in place specifically to get people who will be beneficial to the economy. So that might mean that it's because the person's a fucking billionaire and we want them to build a house here and spend all their money. But that also might mean there's people who get pushed ahead of the line and get much easier immigration for having a doctorate, for being, the top of a leader in their field of whatever it is.
Yeah, but you have to have a lot of money to do that too, because I would have had a much higher education level than I do if I would have been able to have gone to school sooner. And,
fair enough. Yeah.
But yeah, but it's insanity that it always gets drug into a racial issue. I think we should have the same immigration laws that Mexico has.
See, and there's a reason that it becomes a racial issue, I think, and I'll play devil's advocate. What I said before, the difference between the Irish immigrants and the prosecution and the racism that they saw, and the Mexicans coming over the border here, and the persecution that they're seeing now, is that an Irish immigrant can take off his Irish hat and he can talk with an American accent and walk down the street and be just fine. Mexican,
hey, good day, mate.
Brown person.
Yeah, but I know a number of excellent, well-educated Mexican businessmen, family people. I mean, it's not everybody, right? And they assimilated excellently. But yes, did they speak Spanish? Absolutely. Would they speak Spanish to their Hispanic customers? I mean, I'm just saying, I've experienced these people. They're great people.
I agree with you, and these are the people that we want over here. But even still, that person walking down the street still faces the possibility of some sort of racism or anti-immigration stuff directed specifically at him based on the fact that he has brown skin, where an Irish immigrant can blend a lot easier.
That's true, and they could have fried chicken franchise as well, actually being illegal drug dealers. Sam, once again, if you want to mute monitor your funky microphone. We are going to play Who Done Said It. We have several viewers and we have several people playing. We almost have a full house. Thank you, everyone, for joining us, watching today's show, getting involved. Everyone, I am inviting you right now to play along at home. Join the chat. We are joined today by Bo, Lucian Farrow, Matt Winklejohn of Resist the Tyranny, AJ Twynham, Sam DeGangi of The Correct Views, Kyle Phillips, today's host for Who Done Said It, and of course myself, D-Lake for Prez. Kyle, give it up for the Media Speaks Who Done Said It special Father's Day edition. I think it's going great! Kyle, what do we have for today? I can't wait.
Who done said it?
Who said the quote?
Who said the quote? Whoa. Who done said it?
Who said the quote? Who said the quote?
I don't know. Who done said it?
Who said the quote? Who said the quote?
I don't know. Whoa. All right, it's time for some Who Done Said It. Anybody watching at home who hasn't watched before when we play Who Done Said It, pretty simple game. I have quotes from 3 different people, and I'm going to read these quotes, and everybody on the show, Bo, Matt, Lucian, AJ, Sam, D-Lake, I might have repeated some names in there, they have to guess who said the quote, and then whoever wins gets a point. If they all win, I lose 2 points, but if they all lose, I gain 2 points, and I have a feeling I'm not gaining any points today because there's like a million people playing.
Very hard game today, Kyle. Very hard setup with this many people.
Grabbing some stuff so I can do my.
But I think that's what makes it exciting. And also, when you're giving your answers, if you guys want to expound upon why you're choosing that certain person, it's always helpful to the other people. If you want to keep your reasoning close to your chest, that's acceptable also. We're all playing to win, right, Kyle?
Yeah, well, except for me, I don't have a chance.
Well, we don't want you to win, though, so if I feel that you're, like, taking the lead, I'm going to tell these other guys, look, we got to pull it together. We can't let this happen.
Yeah, it's easy for that to happen. I think I've won. How many times have I won? Once?
Once. Yeah, one time.
All right, let me pull up my sound effects here, get my stuff out. So, today's Father's Day, right? So I tried to pick some people who were fathers or father figures. So I have 3 candidates. Number 1, come on, Google Plus. There we go. Number 1 is Pope Francis.
Pope Francis.
Well, I mean, because he's like the father, like of Catholics, right?
Okay, interesting choice. Everyone on the panel is familiar with Pope Francis?
Yeah, he's like, what do you call a priest, right? Father. Okay. So that makes sense. Next, George H.W. Bush.
Oh my gosh, George H.W. Bush.
Because obviously he's a president who's also the father of a different president.
Right.
Father of the New World Order, maybe.
Matt's looking a little fatigued. Matt, are you familiar with Pope Francis and George H.W. Bush? Are you going to be okay with today's game?
I'm going to lose, but let's do this.
Okay, right. And who do we have for number 3?
Steve Martin.
Steve Martin.
Obviously, because of the movie Father of the Bride and the second sequel to that movie, Father of the Bride Part 2.
Oh yeah, good call. Wasn't he the guy commenting on our video about Elliot Rodger and the Santa Barbara shooting?
Yes, Steve Martin, Saturday Night Live, Father of the Bride. He was the one commenting on one of our
Over
videos.
30,000 views, and Steve Martin was one of the viewers. Okay, great.
I assume it was that Steve Martin. All right, are you guys ready to play?
Yes. Pope Francis, George H.W. Bush, father of W, and Steve Martin. Guys, everybody ready?
All right. A day without sunshine is like, night.
Steve Martin.
That sounds like Steve Martin to you? What are you thinking, Sam? Let's go to you with your old-ass microphone.
What's funny is this isn't even the same microphone, so it's coming off of Google. I'm
Oh.
going to go ahead and say President Bush.
You're going with President George H.W. Bush?
The Bush, yes.
What about you, Bo? Who do you think said, a day without sunshine is like, night?
Steve Martin.
That sounds like Steve Martin to you? Yeah. I don't know. What are you thinking, Lucian over there?
I'm going to have to also go with Steve on this one. I agree.
You're going with Steve Martin as well, so that's 3 for Steve Martin. I wish I had one more. Oh, I forgot to put Lucian on here. What's wrong with me? So what are you thinking, D-Like?
I'm going to have to say Steve Martin as well, because if any of these other gentlemen said it, it would just sound really stupid, but from Steve Martin it seems appropriate.
AJ?
Yeah, Steve Martin.
Steve Martin? All right, so everybody except for Sam is going Steve Martin. It was Steve Martin. Come on, applause. So maybe that was a bad quote. All right. Oh, wow. What did I do here? 1 second.
God damn it, Kyle.
Oh, wait, you know what?
What
I
the
messed
hell?
up. I don't think it matters, though, because nobody's picked him yet. It isn't Pope Francis that I went with. I remember when I was writing this down. Let me give myself a bad sound effect. I'm looking at it, and I'm like, wait a second. That person isn't on the list. I replaced Pope Francis with somebody else.
Oh, wait a second. Okay, we have to choose between Steve Martin, George H.W. Bush, and who else?
And Tim Allen. I forgot. I replaced the Pope with Tim Allen because he did a ton of family sitcoms.
This changes everything! Guys, how do you feel about Kyle's Father's Day curveball that
Fully prepared.
I don't know who the last guy is.
Kyle,
I'm gonna get shot.
Kyle, were you prepared for today?
I wasn't fully prepared.
I was not. I was not fully prepared. I had the wrong person written down. I forgot to change it. But yeah, it's George H.W. Bush, Steve Martin, and Tim Allen today.
Now, my question is, I get, like, maybe Pope this guy and Pope that guy. You confuse those two. But how do you confuse a Pope, any Pope, with Tim Allen?
Well,
Home Improvement?
they're both on
TV
TV
before?
All right, I'm sorry.
Okay. Tim Allen, George H.W. Bush, Steve Martin, Father's Day edition, Kyle Phillips.
All right, let's get on with this game that I already messed up. I'm conservative, but I'm not a nut about it.
Well,
Tim Allen.
I think you kind of just said right before the question that this was going to be Tim Allen, didn't you? Tim Allen.
You're going Tim Allen? 2 Tim Allens?
Tim Allen.
Bo's going Tim Allen as well? What are you thinking, Sam?
I'm thinking Tim Allen, but I hardly know the guy at all, so I'm gonna go Tim Allen.
How do you not know Tim Allen?
I mean, I know I've seen the Tool thing
Tim
once.
the Tool Man.
Yeah, yeah.
Home
Same with
Improvement.
Cable. Cable's what gets lost with the band and the show and the work. It's Cable, but
Have you-
I'm gonna go
have
with him because I picked the opposite of everybody last time and I got shellacked. So we'll see if I go with the group this time.
All right, Lucian.
Yes.
Who are you going with?
I also am going to go with Tim Allen, but, as far as exams go, it makes it really easy when there's, 8 people involved. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys.
Yeah, I was trying to max out the players.
AJ, have I asked you yet? Have you gone?
No, I'm going Tim Allen, though.
Everybody's
Staying
going Tim Allen?
Staying with the group.
Oh, unanimous. Whoa. Big power play.
George H.W. Bush.
Oh, I knew it.
I don't know how I just got 2 points in this large of a game.
Yeah, wow. Well, that's what happens when we all are on the think we're on the same page, but we're not. We got tricked. Kyle got 2 points. Kyle, what's next?
I don't write letters anymore. Do you want to hear that one again? It was kind of a long one. I don't write letters anymore. D-Lake, what are you thinking? Who doesn't write letters anymore?
Pass to the next person. I'll go.
I think it was the Pope.
You think?
I know, that's what I was thinking, but Pope's out of it, Tim Allen's in it, and who doesn't write letters anymore? Tim Allen, H.W., or Steve Martin? Matt, seriously, what do you think?
I'm going to go with Bush.
You're going with Bush? That sounds like a Bush quote.
Only because...
He's old?
Well, no, only because I think the other two guys are probably a little bit more down to earth. And when I think of writing letters, you know, it's like maybe fan mail, replying to fans and stuff like that. And I look at the Bush family as this, as these people who believe they're part of this hierarchy that, oh, I don't write letters anymore.
They don't need to.
Boom! I'm convinced. I'm doubling down with Matt. I say Bush too.
You're going with Bush as well?
Yes.
How about you, Bo?
I will have to say, from the 2003 critically acclaimed Cheaper by the Dozen, Steve Martin.
Steve Martin? From Cheaper by the Dozen, Steve Martin. What are you thinking, Lucian?
I'm going with Tim Allen because it sounds like a pretty dumb thing to say.
You're going with, that sounds like a dumb thing to say. I take it you don't like Tim Allen.
No, it's just that I think everybody else in the lineup is a lot smarter.
That is very possible. I mean, Steve Martin can play a badass banjo. So, AJ, what are you thinking for this one?
Tim Allen.
That sounds like Tim Allen to you?
Yeah.
And then Sam?
I'm going to do a Ron Jeremy and go with the Bush. Why? Because, I think more likely to write letters would have previously been Bush, and then with time, either computers took it over or his staff did. That's my reasoning on that one.
But how is that a Ron Jeremy?
Yeah, I was wondering the same thing.
Bush, like Ron Jeremy going for Bush? Never mind. It's not funny.
Oh, I get it.
It was funny, but it's evil.
I got it, but I was muted.
All right.
That's 2 steps ahead on that one.
That was George H.W. Bush. So I believe that was
me and Matt.
Oh, yeah, point for Ron Jeremy.
Do you like it, Matt, right? Nice.
Ron Jeremy would be another good one for this game. All right. You don't know what people are really like until they're under a lot of stress. You don't know what people are really like until they're under a lot of stress.
Lucian, you get to go first.
Oh, man. It's pretty hard.
That's what she said.
I really blew the last one.
That's
My
also
whole
what she
thought
said.
process.
Sorry.
2 in a row for Kyle.
Sorry, you can talk.
What was the quote?
You don't know what people are really like until they're under a lot of stress.
Oh man, I don't know. I'm just gonna guess the Pope.
The Pope is out.
The Pope was replaced by Tim Allen, so do you say Tim Allen, or do you have a different guess?
Oh.
The Pope, I don't know why I had that written. I was going to use the Pope, but I didn't.
You've used the Pope before, though. I think that was what happened.
I think that's why I chose not to use him.
Yeah.
So you got Steve Martin, George H.W. Bush.
I'll go with George H.W. Bush.
That sounds like George H.W. What are you thinking, Sam?
I'm feeling some Steve Martin love. I am.
That's what she said.
Mr. Ruprecht. I'm feeling it.
All right, Steve Martin. D-Lake, who do you think that sounds like?
Steve Martin.
That sounds like Steve Martin to you too?
Yeah.
Winkle John over there, Resist the Tyranny.
Tim Allen.
That sounds like Tim Allen. We got one for Tim Allen. Bo.
I'm going to have to go with the starring actor of 1994's The Santa Claus, Tim Allen.
Oh, 1994's The Santa Claus is a fantastic movie. There's a cameo appearance by an Oscar Mayer Wiener whistle.
Right, I forgot about Tim Allen in that. He was also hilarious.
Did I forget about AJ?
Yeah.
All right, no answers yet.
Is Steve Martin.
That sounds like Steve Martin from the movie where he thinks that he was black, but then his parents tell him he was adopted. I forget the name of it.
The Jerk.
The Jerk. Is that no? That's not The Jerk. The Jerk is the one where he invented like glasses that made people blind. Right?
Yeah, he was raised by a black family in the beginning.
Oh, was he? That's the same movie.
Yep.
And he can't figure out why it doesn't have rhythm. Okay. That was a Tim Allen quote. So Winkle John and Bo.
Wait, Matt and Bo?
Yeah, Matt and Bo got that one. Right now we sit. I have 2, so I'm still in the mix. D-Lake has 2.
Yeah.
Sam 1, AJ 1, Matt 3, Bo 2, Lucian 1.
Oh man, I thought you were about to say 0.
No, I forget which one, but you did get one. All right, next quote. In marriage, compromise nurtures the relationship.
AJ's going Steve Martin.
Who's Steve Martin's wife?
Steve Martin. Steve Martin's wife, I believe, is... I have no idea. Yeah.
Deceased. Oh, no, wait, that's Martin Short. Never mind.
Who's Martin Short married to?
His wife is dead.
Oh, really? That's sad. Martin Short.
Never mind.
Can you say the quote one more time?
In marriage, compromise nurtures the relationship.
Yeah, that just sounds like some garbage HW said about his wife.
So you're going George H.W.?
Yeah.
Sam, what do you think?
Barbara Bush.
Sammy boy. Greetings, Sam.
Oh, D-Lake in this damn microphone. I'm sitting there talking to myself like a lunatic. Well, then again, maybe I'm answering myself.
Does anyone else hear that every time Sam turns his mic on?
Yes.
I
don't even hear Sam.
I'm going to go with Bush because for all of his faults, let's face it, the man was married for a long time. We didn't have any scandals here. Even though I'm not a Bush fan, if someone's going to talk about a successful marriage, I'd say he has the right to do so.
All right, you're going Bush. Bo, what are you thinking?
I'm going with the best supporting actor of 2011, big year next to Luke Wilson, Steve Martin.
You're going with Steve Martin. Lucian, who do you think that is? Do you think that was Steve Martin of The Jerk and of, what was that movie, Bo?
The Big Year.
The Big Year? Or was that George H.W. Bush or Tim Allen?
My first thought was George W. Bush. I also had I pictured him talking about Barbara Bush, or she was superimposed behind him.
So is that who you're going with?
Yes.
All right, George.
Final answer?
Bush.
Huh?
Yes.
Is George Bush your final answer?
Yes.
All right, Matt.
Bush.
You're going with Bush?
Yep.
And AJ.
Power play.
Steve Martin.
You're going with Steve Martin as well.
Yeah.
That was Tim Allen.
Wait, who got that?
Nobody. I just took the lead. With
Guys, this is what I was warning about. There's no possible way. Oh, we're joined by Anthony Clark. There's no possible way Kyle can win this game, guys. But we gotta focus. We gotta pull this together. Come on.
Anthony Court, the court report.
Gentlemen, how you doing?
No point. Court, you're coming in late with no points.
You're
That's
coming
all
in
right.
late with no points, but that doesn't set you that far behind.
I'll just be a spectator since I'm late in the game. I don't want to break the rules here.
Okay, look. Anyone can use court as a lifeline, like a lifeline call-in. Like if you want court's opinion on this next one, which I'm gonna do. What do we got, Kyle?
The next quote is, talking about music is like dancing about architecture.
Can you read it one more time, and then Court, if you could give everyone your opinion, so we can play off that. Go ahead.
Talking about music is like dancing about architecture.
And
Is that Tim Allen, George H.W. Bush, or Steve Martin? Who
I'm
said
going to say
that?
Steve Martin.
Sounds like a Steve Martin gag to you?
Yeah,
Him and
he's
Tim
terrible,
Allen are both
but
comedians,
I'll go
though.
with Steve Martin.
How dare you? What are you thinking, Bo?
I'm going to have to go with Steve Martin because earlier, I don't know if y'all know that Steve Martin is actually a great musician. Banjo, piano, bunch of other shit.
Banjo.
I knew that.
He's an insane banjo player.
Yeah.
He's played banjo and different instruments in a lot of his movies too. I'm gonna
See,
agree with you.
I like his movies better than his old stand-up thing. That whole banjo thing was annoying.
His stand-up, I'll have to agree, was kind of tacky. But
Well, I mean, like for the '70s, I mean.
yeah,
it
I
was
mean,
a different era.
I don't know, it was funny though. Lucian, what are you thinking?
I think I'm gonna go with Cord on this. It's a wild guess. I have no idea. And Steve Martin.
2 Steve Martins. Matt Winklejohn.
Tim Allen.
You're going Tim Allen on this one?
Yeah.
All right, what do you think, AJ?
Is Steve Martin.
You're going Steve Martin as well?
Yeah.
Sam?
I like. I'm gonna like Steve Allen because I've always thought that he was like the most clever, witty of the three.
Did you just
Steve
say
Allen.
Steve Allen?
That's
Yeah,
a-
you can't,
All right,
you can't cover both
Steve,
bases.
no, Steve Miller. Yeah, Steve Miller too. Don't forget him. No, I'm gonna go with Steve Martin.
Space Cowboys. You're going with Steve Martin?
Space Cowboys. Yes.
D-Lake, who do you think?
Yeah, I went to court for his opinion, and I agree with it. Steve Martin.
All right, so everybody is for Steve Martin except for, I think, Matt.
Yeah, Matt said Tim Allen.
Okay, so
Guys, if this is George Bush, we're screwed.
it was Steve Martin.
Oh, booyah.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Okay, D-Lake said that. Everyone else said that but Matt, right?
Yes. Everybody else except Matt. So you all got a point. Right now we stand D-Lake has 3, Sam has 2, AJ has 2, Matt has 3, Bo has 3, Lucian is still at 1, and I'm at 4.
Son of a...
I just got that question
No,
right.
no, I think you mixed it up. AJ
yeah.
has 1 and Lucian has 2.
No,
Yeah.
me and Lucian both have 2. We both got the same ones right.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
yeah,
forgot
that's
to
right,
mark
okay.
it. That's
I
right.
mean, I'm not saying that I want to play or anything.
All right. Lucian, you get to go first on this next one, and if you want to consult court as your lifeline, you are free to do so. Kyle, what do we got next?
All right, great.
I have a thing for tools.
Shut up.
Really?
Yeah, that's the quote.
Okay.
Tim the Toolman Taylor is not going to be the answer. He's trying to trick us. This is a trick question.
Is
I don't know,
it,
Lucian, what do you think? Court, what do you guys think? I love
Well,
tools.
We could go paper, rock, scissor mentality for a long time on this one. Is it a trick? Is it not a trick? But I'm just going to go with Tim Allen.
You're going with Tim Allen, huh?
Yeah.
All right, Lucian's going for Tim Allen. What are you thinking, Matt?
I'm going to go with the Pope. No, Tim Allen.
You're going Tim Allen?
Yeah. It's almost too obvious. I'm guessing it's wrong, but yeah, I'm going with
Well,
Tim
I did paper, rock, scissor mentality out to about 7 times and figured by the time Kyle got out there, he was like, no, they're going to be fooled. And it was really Tim Allen, so I went back to 1.
That might be possible.
It is.
Bo, what are you thinking?
Tim
I
Allen.
said Bo, what are you thinking?
Tim Allen, yes, Tim Allen.
You're going with Tim Allen too?
Yeah, even though this could be Steve Martin in The Jerk, but Tim Allen.
AJ, what are you thinking?
I'm going with George Bush.
You're going with George Bush?
Yeah.
All right, Sam?
I'm feeling Bush because you guys are all forgetting about Texas and the ranch and all that.
You're feeling Bush?
If I was feeling Bush...
I already made that joke, or trust me, I just did Ron Jeremy earlier.
To feel some Bush, you know what I'm saying? D-Lake, what are you thinking? You're the I got everybody else right. Just D-Lake left.
Yeah, I'm gonna lifeline to Court. Court, tell me what you think.
The quote is, "I like tools."
I have a thing for tools.
I have a thing for tools. I was thinking Bush. I was thinking George Bush. Court.
I'm gonna agree with that.
Okay, I'm gonna pick Bush.
I'm going to go with
I
Bush.
think Tim Allen's too obvious, but Kyle could be pulling a trick, but I don't think he's that clever, so I'm going to go with George.
No, I think he's that clever on purpose to try to make it this hard, but I'm gonna say Bush.
That was Tim Allen. Come on, I have
knew it.
For tools.
See, you got to do paper, rock, scissors. Like, are they faking you out to like 7 times or so, not more than 12, because then we're gonna blow it all.
So Lucian,
Exactly.
Matt, and AJ.
It's rock paper scissors warfare of am I giving you one that sounds so much like Tim Allen that you'll pick him and it's actually Bush, or am I giving you one that sounds so much like Tim Allen that you're gonna think that I'm trying to fake you out and pick someone other than Tim Allen, even though it is Tim Allen, and it turns out that's what I was doing.
But then
I will have to say this as a heads up to all players. We do have to remember that shortly, not that long ago, we were all invited to pick our own segments for these shows, and I did the science, and everybody. Kyle did this, so he puts a lot of thought into this. So it's hard to tell where he's going to be coming.
I'm too sober for this.
All right.
Exactly. Hey guys, I'm doing kind of a not the best job keeping score because I'm not following all the way. But Kyle, where are we at?
D-Lake 3, Sam 2, AJ 2, Matt 4, Bo 4, Lucian 3, and me at 4. So.
Okay, I almost had that. Okay, great.
Nothing I do is done by popular demand.
Oh.
It's a good quote right there. D-Lake, I'm going to make you go first.
Steve Martin.
That sounds like Steve Martin. Nothing I do is done by popular demand. Court, you want to chime
No, it sounded like George W. Bush, but then I was thinking Steve Martin, but you just did a lifeline. Court, what do you think? Nothing I do is by popular demand. Court, what do you think?
I think Court froze. I think
Or
He's
frozen
sitting very
Court.
still.
I'm holding off. AJ, what do you think? I like to steal your answers. They're usually right. They're usually
No, not today. Not today. They're not.
No, today you're doing a crappy job.
Yeah, George Bush.
It sounds like George Bush to you.
See, that's what I was. Okay.
No, it sounds a lot. It sounds a lot like Tim Allen, but I'm gonna go George Bush.
George Bush.
Sam, what do you think?
Sammy boy. You
Okay,
double clicked it. That was a double click.
Lucian, can I steal your answer? What do you think?
I'm gonna go with you on this and say Steve.
Steve Martin.
Yes.
So you're going with Steve Martin too, D-Like?
Yeah, I'm gonna double down with Lucian on this one.
All right.
Made with water running down.
Tim Allen.
Rocky Mountains. I'm going
You're going. Wait, Sam, you're going with Bush.
with Bush, yeah.
Sam's going Bush, and Bo, you're going with Tim Allen.
Correct.
Tim Allen. All right. Am I missing somebody? Matt Winklejohn.
Bush.
That sounds like Bush to you.
Damn it, I was gonna say Bush. It better not. Okay, what is it?
That was Steve Martin.
Booyah!
Nice.
All right. Or how many do we got left? We have
Who was
3
that?
left.
Me, Lucian, and who else said Steve Martin?
I don't know. The scores are D Lake 4, Sam 2, AJ 2, Matt 4, Bo 4, Lucian 4, and me 4. So it's very, very tied up. We have 3 questions left, or 3 quotes left. So
Oh, it's getting down to the nitty gritty.
Anybody's
I like
game.
this. This is epic.
old guys can still do fun things.
Who's the oldest on here? Me?
The oldest is either you or I think Matt. Probably you.
I'm older than Matt. I'm gonna say old guys can still do fun things.
Well, somebody else said it first, and I need you to guess who.
George Bush is the oldest in the group, I believe. But
I think it's George Bush, Steve Martin, then Tim Allen, but they're all guys over. I think they're all over 50. I think that.
Yeah.
Tim Allen is the youngest. Somebody look that up.
He's the youngest, but I think the most likely to have said this quote somewhere around Toy Story time. Tim Allen of Toy Story, the voice of Buzz Lightyear.
Woody. Oh, yeah, it was.
Woody
my
was
bad.
Tom Hanks. Also,
Yeah.
Castaway.
You don't want to play the movie trivia game next week, AJ. I'll wreck you.
Yeah, I'm just gonna step out of that one.
Okay, I'm gonna say Tim Allen.
You're going Tim Allen.
Yep.
Sam, what do you think?
Sir.
Sam, turn your ancient microphone back on.
I'm going with the Bush again. I feel like I've answered Bush for everything, but they all sound like Bush to me. It's terrible.
That sounds like Bush to you?
Everything sounds like Bush to me, so I'm probably gonna lose another point.
Everything I think I see looks like Bush to me.
All right, AJ, what do you got? That's also why my parents separated. My dad said the same thing about Bush. All right.
Bush just had his birthday, and Putin phone called him, or gave him a phone call and wished him a happy birthday. So I'm going to go ahead and just go with George Bush.
Yeah, he went paratrooping, too.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he went. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. He did he jumped out of a plane with a parachute. Matt, what do you think?
What was the quote of him?
Old guys can still do fun things.
Steve Martin.
Steve Martin, he's a pretty old man. That's true. Lucian.
Well, I think that there's no question from the beginning. It was, in my mind, a toss-up between Steve Martin and George Bush, but the case for Bush is pretty strong, so I've decided on Bush.
All right, you're going Bush, and then Bo.
I'm going to go to the recently turned 61-year-old Tim Allen, whose birthday was June 13th. Birthday boy, Tim Allen.
Birthday boy, Tim Allen.
Of Toy Story.
Of
And
Toy
Toy Story 2.
Story, Home Improvement, Last Man Standing, which I believe is on ABC, which is actually a really funny show.
Oh, Galaxy Quest.
Galaxy Quest with Alan Rickman. Alan Rickman, just hold your nose and do a monotone voice, and that's Alan Rickman.
I love Galaxy Quest. I forgot Alan was in that. I know who he is.
Good.
All right, who was it?
George H.W. Bush.
Who said
So,
that? Sam?
few people did. Right now, we have 2 questions left, or 2 quotes left, and we have D Lake at 4, Sam at 3, AJ at 3, Matt at 4, Bo at 4, Lucian at 5, and me at 4. So really, anybody could really make it up in this game. At least come back to tie. So, next quote. I'm enamored with the art world. I am enamored with the art world.
Steve Martin.
That sounds like Steve Martin to you, Sam?
Yeah.
All right, what about Lucian?
You know, I also pictured Steve's silly face saying that same thing, so I'm going to go Steve Martin.
Lucian is going Steve Martin as well. Matt, what are you thinking?
Me too. Steve Martin.
Same thing, Steve Martin. AJ?
Oh man, D-Lake, what are we gonna do, man?
Well, it wasn't HW that was doing all the paintings. That was W.
I know what I'm getting at. What I'm getting at is everybody has chosen Steve Martin, and if we get this wrong, Kyle's got six. Kyle's gonna have 6
Kyle
points.
pulls away and wins the game. Someone's got to go for the block.
Yeah, somebody's got to take the blow, man.
Wait, Sam. What did Sam say?
Sam, everybody said Steve Martin, and it's you guys.
Yeah, what are we gonna do, man? I cannot let Kyle win. I'm not gonna win, but I'm not gonna let him win. I'll just do it, man. I'll do it if you will.
Tim
Pick
Allen.
the other two.
I'll say Tim Allen.
I'll say George Bush.
All right, so D-Lake is saying Tim Allen. AJ is going with George Bush.
To block Kyle.
It was Steve Martin.
Yeah.
It really set
I
me
was gonna
back.
go for the. I was gonna say Steve Martin too, but I was like, okay, AJ convinced me that we need to go for the mega
He
block.
could have pulled me out of this race. We got one quote left. D-Lake 4, Sam 4, AJ 3, Matt 5, Bo 4, Lucian at 6, and me at 4. Here's the quote. I was offered a job on Wall Street by my uncle, but I wanted to get out, make it on my own kind of thing.
Son of a bitch! I thought the last quote that you read was the last quote. That's why I was going so hard for the block, or else I would. Damn you, AJ! AJ, you go first. AJ goes first on this one.
All right, AJ. I was offered a job on Wall Street by my uncle, but I wanted to get out, make it on my own kind of thing. Who does that sound like, AJ?
That's Pope Francis.
That's,
Tim Allen, man.
that sounds like Tim Allen to you.
It sounds like George Bush, but I'm gonna go Tim Allen.
What do you think, Matt?
I think it's Steve Martin.
You think that's Steve Martin?
Yep.
Lucian?
Man, it's so hard. I'm going with either Tim or Steve. Gosh. Let me just. I'm gonna say Steve Martin.
Sounds like Steve Martin to you. Sam?
Tim Allen.
That's a Tim Allen quote.
I'm hoping.
Tim the Toolman Taylor, what are you thinking, D-Lake?
I'm gonna say George Bush because AJ thinks it's George Bush, but wouldn't say it.
All right, so the votes are in. It was George Bush.
Booyah!
So,
Hey, you're welcome.
AJ.
You're welcome. You're welcome. D-Lake.
Gotta go with your first thought, buddy.
Yeah.
our winner for today is Lucian Farrow. Lucian came in first with 6. In second place, D-Lake and Matt Winklejohn are tied at 5. Coming in third with 4 is me, Sam, and Bo. And AJ coming in fourth, not making the podium.
No,
with 3.
I'm in last. I'm last today, man. I guess if I'm gonna lose, I'm gonna lose hard.
It's alright.
Yeah.
The world needs ditch diggers too.
There's nothing after bronze except lead.
There's
But,
wood. There's
Hey,
wood.
Lucian, you won today's game. Congratulations. You'll never be invited back on the show again.
I actually was really surprised because I guess my thought process on that first one was absolutely horrible, but everybody here had excellent thoughts, and I was able to make really good choices by rapid processes of elimination.
And rapid thought processes.
Alright, well, we just played Who Done Said It. Good game. Lucian won. I say we take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we can kind of loosen up, talk about some entertainment, what we've been reading in the news, let everybody talk a little bit about what they've been doing, a little bit of entertainment, and do a little wrap-up. How does that sound?
Hey, it sounds fun to me.
Alright, so we will be right back on TMS Live. Thank you, everybody, again for tuning in, and thank you, Matt Winklejohn, Resist the Tyranny, Lucian Farrow, Indigo Children Radio, AJ Twynham, Spoken Do Good on YouTube, Sam and D-Lake of the Media Speaks. Thanks, everybody, for being here. We'll be back in a minute. Hey, Sam DeGanji from the Correct Views and the MediaSpeaks.com. Do you know what time it is?
It is Mardi Gras time. It is time to party. Eat all the seafood you want.
I don't think that it's Mardi Gras right now, but I mean, I don't know about the other part about fish. Do you at least know what website we're on?
This is brought to you by themediaspeaks.com.
Well, at least you got that right, Sam. I've been worried about this day coming for a while now, and I think Sam might have lost his mind. But for those of you out there who haven't lost your minds, go to themediaspeaks.com, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, subscribe on YouTube, and do all those things that you know you want to do. It's just a click of a button. If you're on Pinterest, well, you're screwed. But on all those other ones, do the things that I said. It really helps us out. We don't have sponsors. All we have is crazy people like Sam who talk about Mardi Gras when it's not even near that time of year. That's all we have to tell you because we don't want to waste your time with pointless ads. So do all those things, hit like, subscribe, and follow, and all that internet stuff. And let's get back to TMS Live.
I like that when you do a show, you never really know how Kyle hears it. Like, Kyle hears the show differently than the rest of America. I love it.
Do I? All right, so we're back. Thanks, everybody, for being here. So before we start kind of getting into the entertainment section, I want to go through and see kind of what everybody's been up to. Lucian, we haven't had you on in a little bit. Matt Winklejohn as well. So let's start with Lucian. What's been going on at Indigo Children Radio? Give us some updates.
We've had a number of great guests coming on, some entertaining stuff, I think, and we have a conference for this the International Left-Hand Path Conference coming up in Indianapolis, July 25th through the 25th through the 27th, I believe. Yeah. And basically, it's more of the same. It's a bunch of individuals changing their lives using psychology under the disguise of fantasy terms like ritual and magic and sorcery. And we've had some interesting guests, and I think that it's given everybody a lot to think about. But at the end of the day, we're just trying to move forward, become better people.
Definitely. We need to help, we need to get Indigo Children Radio just like an explosive Twitter account or something. There's so many people that I would love to hear you interview that are obviously pretty hard to get a hold of. Some of these more the people like David Icke. I would love to hear you interview David Icke.
I would not have David Icke on my show if someone put a gun to my head on both sides. I would absolutely, or Alex Jones, but I understand your sentiment. How about somebody else?
Well, I mean, I say David Icke because you wouldn't have him on your show even if it was to be. I mean, you don't have to.
You could offer me all the money and make all my dreams come true, and I wouldn't compromise my morals on that man. I'd say just shoot me. I'm an immortal being.
But don't you think he's the second coming of Jesus?
All right, hypothetically, if I'm like Lucian, I've set up an interview with David Icke. That doesn't mean you have to be nice to him. That doesn't mean you have to agree with him and send him with praise.
I do treat everybody.
You can keep him in a room by himself, waiting like an extra 3 hours, like Jesse Ventura did.
If we factor out the reptilians, what is it about him that you don't like? I'll give you the reptilians.
I believe that he's absolutely insane, and he's doing nothing but taking all the topics that you guys talk about and basically taking a giant reptilian shat all over the face of everything. He's a complete loon.
The fact that I have to agree with Alex Jones's interpretation of him to an extent. I do love listening to him. I don't know, there's something about him, but you have to take what he says with a grain of salt. Because Lucian's right. What he does is he throws a fucking turd in the punch bowl. Like, he says all this stuff that's very real things that people need to know, but at the end he's like, and I thought that I was God for a while, and everyone I don't like is a lizard. And it's like, oh, so everything you just said is horseshit then, obviously, because you would think everybody's lizards.
No, it's like a hot chick with a because he has an accent. It's like a hot chick with an accent. At first it's like melodic to your ears, it's the most beautiful thing you ever heard. But after about 3 weeks of dating her, it's just like, shut the fuck up.
But I mean,
well,
I would love
I
to
think
hear
it's sort of like
Because the
I
actually
hate
court what?
I was just saying, as much as I hate and despise Barack Obama, I'd still interview him, but I'd grill his ass. You better believe it.
Yeah. Put him on some charcoal.
Yeah, you know, the thing of it is, guys, the thing of it is I actually go out of my way to find people with these really fantastic, really fantasy realm ideas that I believe they've actually used to trick themselves psychologically into changing their lives. So what if it's all silly? I just know that it works. I draw the line where somebody is a complete icon where it's quite obvious that they're doing it for the money or the insanity. I do treat everybody. See, the thing is I wouldn't destroy him. I would just avoid the whole scene by never having him. I don't respect anything that he says. I believe that he takes themes that we talk about either on Indigo Children Radio or an Anthony Robbins sort of deal, and he takes all the credibility away from those of us that are trying to have a fun radio show and talk about fun and interesting things without sounding and looking like complete idiots. And some of the things that we say, I think, are just so worthwhile hearing. And I would just never compromise the show having that guy on there. Alex Jones could invite me on the show and expose me to all of it, and I would absolutely evacuate my shell body before do that. They'd say, "Do it, or we're gonna kill you." Do it. Do it, you cowards. I would never do it. That's how much I oppose these two individuals.
Have you ever listened to Duncan Trussell?
No.
Duncan Trussell has a podcast called the Duncan Trussell Family Hour. He's a comedian, but I think you would really, really like him. Like, that guy, he's not like a David Icke, somebody saying shit about reptilians. He's very open. He's very... Yeah.
Kyle's trying to find out what shows Lucian would go on.
Yeah. I'm trying to find out the positives.
What about Graham Hancock, Lucian?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I even wrote to Graham. I never heard back. That's okay. This isn't the biggest radio show anybody's ever heard of. I get it. I wrote to him though. Really wanted to have him come out there. I wrote to also, man, I'm forgetting his name. The guy behind the WebBot. You know, his WebBot crawlers crawl the internet and make predictions based off of all the buzz and the words people are typing. Gosh, it's an embarrassment. I'm forgetting his name. I contacted him. He actually wrote back, said he was actually booked for the... But I try to book people that I'm true fans of. Yes, the topics are absolutely outrageous and downright insane, but I believe that in a certain context, everything we do is outrageous and insane, and it's just a deliberate choice to use that to change your life. And we take great pains on this radio show to present a broadcast that can talk about the weird and the wild and not take that turn down the completely let's market ourselves and make a bunch of money, or let's talk about insane things. It's a very typical line we walk.
Lucian, just to clarify, are you saying that you draw the line at lizard people?
We've talked about them before. I don't place my faith in such beings or whatever, or the existence of any kind.
So you actually do
talk about that? A lot of things we talk about this show are absolutely insane. Yeah, I would talk about them, but here's the thing. I'm not going to let, what's his name? That guy use my platform as a mouthpiece to utter his insanity. I don't do that. He's much bigger. I'm sure that he makes a lot more money. He's a big deal, right? But I'm not going to taint the reputation of really trying to convince people that there are absolutely fun fantasy and psychological ways to manipulate your mind into having an excellent existence and enjoying the most out of your stay here, because none of us are going to get out alive. Nobody. So don't take it so seriously. But I wouldn't have that sort of message tarnished by him and the complete wackos that would then plague my channel. There's absolutely no way.
That's very fair. I get where you're coming from with that. Speaking of, you're saying you tried to get, Graham Hancock and a few other people. I know Matt Winklejohn, weren't you scheduled to interview Adam Kokesh like the day or the day after he got raided?
Yeah, it was when he got arrested in Philadelphia at the Smoke Down Prohibition. I was scheduled to interview him 2 days after that. But here about 2 months ago, that never happened, and I am going to contact Kokesh again. I'm also going to contact Sheriff Mack and a couple other people. I just got done.
I didn't mean to cut you off, Matt. Just correct me if I'm wrong, though. Wasn't it just reported that he pled guilty and his sentencing is in September of this year?
It might be. I've been out of that loop here for the last about week, so I'm not sure.
I think that he's out. He's on probation or something right now.
Yeah, Kokesh is out on probation, I believe.
Yeah.
What was happening a few months ago, Matt?
A couple months ago, I interviewed Larry Pratt from Gun Owners of America.
Oh, hell yeah.
Had him on a live stream. Resist the Tyranny is just growing by leaps and bounds. I mean, I think we're reaching almost 4 million views now on the website. Right close to that. 4 million visitors, almost 300,000 on the YouTube channel. Just busy, and
talk about that for a minute, Matt. Where can people find you?
Resist the Tyranny on YouTube. ResistTheTyranny.com is a website. There's also a G+ community, Resist the Tyranny, and also on Facebook, and Resist the Tyranny 76 on Twitter. Just got back from a big shoot down in Missouri. Went on vacation down in Tucson, Arizona. Probably moving down there pretty soon, actually. And just things are growing almost faster than I can keep up with on my own. And got a couple of different contributors that are now writing articles also for me, and I am part of another YouTube channel that is called 50 States News Network, which is we're trying to grow that and to get people from every state to report on local and state issues instead of just concentrating on the federal government.
Okay, look at Matt networking. Matt, that sounds great.
Hey, Matt, it's been a while since I've seen you. How you been, besides all that?
That's about it, busy. I mean, good. Things have been good, but been very, very busy.
Busy is good. You know what I'm going to be doing really soon? I know that you're all going to be super, super jealous. You know what I just ordered? I just ordered one of those fancy, like, radio station microphone arms. So, like, my microphone, instead of being down here, will, like, hang, and I can, like, pull it into myself. Like, on the mainstream media, people have it, like what Joe Rogan has.
I thought you used to have one of those.
No, I had, like, a rig that I set up to look like that. But if you were to zoom the camera out, there were, like, crates and, like, things stacked next to the camera that it was, like, kind of hanging over off of. I got a real one that, like, bolts to the desk and stuff. It's going to be super fancy, just saying. This place is going to be fancy as hell with my Billy Jack poster.
Hey, guys, since it's hot in the news, I just want to throw it out there. What do you think about all that militant action going on in Iraq currently?
Honestly, I could care less. Let's get the fuck out of there and let them fight their own battles. You know, like let them fight each other. Let's get our people out of there. Same thing I feel about Syria, Ukraine.
Don't you like how the right is making it seem like we need to start bombing? Otherwise, I've seen this on Drudge was even posting that if they take over everything, it'll undo what we've done, and also it'll make the current gas prices look like a bargain.
All right, well, maybe we shouldn't be on gas anymore. We've had fucking 20 years that we've known about this problem, and we've known that it's not going to last forever and that it's bad for the environment. And I'm not in the Al Gore camp. I'm not saying that we're going to destroy the planet to the point where all humans die. But what I'm saying is, if we can do things that are going to be better for the environment, why not? Whether it's a minuscule effect or whether it's a huge effect, even if it's no effect. It's a better idea to be using things that are renewable and that are sustainable as opposed to something that we're pulling out of the earth that eventually is going to run out, no matter how you feel about that. And I'm sorry, not even the global warming shit, but I mean, what's going to happen to the earth because we're pulling all this oil out? We don't understand the full ramifications of that underground. I mean, just pulling this oil out, is it there for a reason? Yeah. I mean, I've heard it referred to as oil as like the blood of the planet.
Whoa. Hey, Kyle. Yesterday on the Saturday show that I went solo on,
Yeah.
I had to fill in the science report because Sam wasn't there. But I did my science report on a link that AJ Twynham, thanks AJ, sent me about about a hidden ocean discovered underneath the Earth's, between the mantles and stuff, the plate tectonics type stuff.
This hollow Earth theory.
This ringwoodite material basically soaks up 3 times the Earth's surface water. So underneath the continent is this ringwoodite that holds like 3 times the water that's on the surface. And it occurred to me after that report, Kyle, that's how Waterworld is going to happen, Kyle.
It's all going to come up from underneath.
And I mean, I wish Bo was here because he knows all about Waterworld, and Kyle, you know all about that, right?
Yeah,
So that's why I have a stockpile of crayons, dirt, and paper.
And grow your hair out, grow your beard out really long, so if you come up to like a giant, boat colony, and they're like, "Do you have anything to trade with us?" You can be like, "My beard. I can cut my beard and give it to you, and I'll let you in."
Well, let's be real about the.
I don't know how much that's worth, but I'm trying to grow gills also.
That'll help, Matt. What are you trying to throw in?
Well, the oil thing. I mean, forget about gas. I mean, we use almost. I mean, in comparison to everything else we do, gas is the least of our concerns. If we don't legalize, if we don't start utilizing hemp, we'll never get away from oil. Because everything else we do, everything, you can't look around a thing in your house on your body that is not made with oil in some way, shape, or form.
And could be made with hemp, Matt. Can you expound upon the hemp part?
Well, not just that hemp with paper, with oils, hemp oils, I mean, everything we get from oil, our medical supplies, our toothbrushes, our shoes, our paints, all that stuff. Everything we get from oil can be made from hemp, and hemp is, I can't even remember how much faster.
It grows like 4 times faster. It can be reused like triple the amount. Like, it's stronger.
If there's any environmentalists watching, if you actually buy the whole carbon issue and warming, it actually, from what I've read, it absorbs more of the carbon than trees do. If that's true or not, you could comment and leave your thoughts on it. But I just want to throw in there, since we're talking about oil in Iraq and all that, I think this just shows that we should have never been in there in the first place. We can't control these religious sects there. I mean, it's near to impossible. I mean, look how much money we've wasted over there. And the far right, I mean, if you want to consider it left or right, is still saying that we should have full presence there because of the disorder that's happening currently.
Well, and the way to cut the presence, though, the way to cut our presence over there is to start using things like hemp. And hemp, the way that Joe Rogan puts it, and I have to agree with him, is hemp is illegal because it's got a fucking bad cousin. Like, oh, you're cousins with marijuana? Like, oh, we don't trust you. Get out of here. You hang out with some bad people. It's like, we could do so much with it. It grows faster. You can make food out of it. You can make plastic out of it. You can make fuel out of it. With the THC brand of hemp, marijuana, you can get high from it and calm down, and, eat some of it and get your appetite back if you have cancer, make your eyes not hurt if you got glaucoma. You can do so much with it. It's like unlimited. It's easy to grow. It grows pretty much anywhere. It is a weed. There's a reason it's called weed marijuana. It'll grow just about anywhere that you put it. Why aren't we growing this stuff? Let's fix the economy. It'll take our interests out of Iraq and Afghanistan and the entire Middle East. We won't need them anymore. We won't need Saudi Arabia anymore, so we can stop kind of playing this fucking tiptoe back and forth. You guys are terrorists, terrorist-breeding, dictatorial police state, but we're going to pretend that you're our friend because you have a ton of oil. Let's knock this shit off. Let's start using hemp. And, move the fuck on. I mean,
I wanted to mention, Kyle, I sent a link up for it. there are some people that question whether or not we will run out of oil. It's on the Discovery magazine. It's the link. If anybody listening, Discovery magazine, we will never run out of oil. The trouble I have with oil is the whole lung cancer thing. I do not believe we're warming the planet with it at all. But I do think we're killing each other with it, with our breathing and just all of the lung problems we see in ever-growing numbers, even though smoking is going down. Smoking of cigarettes is going down in vast numbers.
And I want to say too, I do think that we're warming the planet. I think that we're warming the planet in a cold cycle. If you look historically, this planet has cool cycles and heat cycles. And I'm no expert. I get this from listening to experts on the subject. But the Earth goes through cooling and warming every few hundred years. We're in the longest period of heating that we've ever seen in history. And if you look historically, the cold periods are when there's famines and people die and shit and we stop innovating. The hot periods are where we do better, the population increases, we build new shit. You know, Steve Jobs comes with a fucking Apple computer. That's when we do good things. And we're not necessarily diving into a heat cycle, but we're sustaining a heat cycle. It's not coming back up from that cooling cycle. I think it has a lot more to do with solar rays and stuff, but I think that we're contributing to it. But if anything, maybe it's not the worst thing. And what global warming people don't want to talk about as well is that the more we heat the planet, and they say we heat the planet because of all the CO2 that we put into the air, right? Well, plants love CO2, and you know, the hotter the planet gets and the more CO2 there is in the air, and then of course, yes, as it heats, more of that is released from the oceans. When we get a CO2 rich environment, guess what? Plants fucking explode. Plants want to grow like motherfuckers. Forests rehabilitate themselves. We get more oxygen. It is a cycle, and the Earth is very good at balancing itself out. It's like a fucking whale to radiation. I thought Sam might like that one because I don't know if anybody follows Sam's Fukushima reports.
It was one of the best analogies I've ever heard.
So I mean, I don't know. I'm not worried about it. That's the thing, is I'm not worried about it. I think this planet's going to take care of itself. I think that Earth effect is nothing compared to solar radiation. But why not do those things? Because, like, even if you don't believe in global warming at all, which I don't believe in it as the mainstream puts it at all, but if you don't believe in global warming, if you don't think that we have any impact on the environment at all, you know, windmills and solar power and biofuel from hemp are still good ideas. Like, that doesn't make them bad ideas. They're still good ideas no matter where you come at it from.
I wanted to address something else that you had said, because my mom has been really, really sick. To anybody watching, I dedicate the show to my dad, who's no longer with us. Happy Father's Day. My mother, one of the things that I wish we could do is give Mom weed. And I know, you know, you can't because she's in medical care. They do her blood. We'll be in jail. But they're having a horrible time getting her to eat. And meanwhile, those of us that know exactly how we could fix it. And there's absolutely no feasible way to do it. Because even if she were to find out about it, she's been programmed to think it's evil, so she wouldn't even eat it if you told her what we were trying to do. That's
because she's been indoctrinated into this.
Yes.
And you can't blame her for that. I mean, she's a different generation.
But, I mean, literally, it could quite possibly save her life. I mean, she's not... It could go either way, one of those things. But she, eat! And, you just want to, like, here, smoke this.
Since we're talking about marijuana and hemp, and specifically hemp's use as for making oil, which really that's where a lot of the benefit comes from, because you can do a lot of shit with oil. Like I said, fuel, plastic, products, everything. So since we're speaking of oil, does anybody recognize this guy right here? I'm going to put him on my screen share. Who knows who that is? Who's the first who can chime in? Who knows? Who is that guy?
I can't see.
You can't see it? That's the old guy who lived on the rowboat in the giant oil tanker in Waterworld.
Oh, yeah. And he was the one measuring how oil.
Yeah. And he flicks a cigarette in there, and the old guy's like, thank God, because he's just been living in a rowboat in an oil tanker. Shitty life. I know. I wanted to throw that out there. Bring it back to Waterworld. Just
Hey,
one.
Kyle. So
I knew that
it's
was.
Waterworld Genesis. Your trailer for last InfoWars contest, is that going to come true now because of the underground ocean?
I
Yeah,
think
the hidden ocean underground and the ringwoodite is going to bring about the Waterworld, Kyle. Isn't that right?
I hope so. That would be awesome. One thing that I want to do, I always threaten Megan that I'm going to do this now that we own a house, is I'm just going to start building a giant boat in our backyard with, like, wood and wooden pegs and, like, wooden hammers.
Gentlemen.
What about termites?
What?
What about termites?
Fuck termites. I'll use spray for those motherfuckers. But I want to build a giant ark, and, like, when neighbors come by, because, like, if you start building something, your neighbors are going to show up, right? And, like, neighbors will show up like, hey, what are you working on back there? And I'll give them like 2-word answers, you know, like building the boat. And they're like, oh, that's a pretty big boat made out of solid oak. What are you planning on doing with it? Gonna flood. And then just keep fucking working on the boat. And freak out all my neighbors, and all of a sudden they'll start building boats because they think I know something that they don't.
Or they'll call the city and complain, and then the feds will show up at your house, or the local community.
Take my boat.
Or whatever the hell. And try to make you dismantle the boat.
I think M. Night Shyamalan's going to make a movie about you. But guys, we're in the entertainment section, and if you don't mind, real quick, I'm here with a buddy of mine. He doesn't have to say anything, but Casey Kasem is dead.
Oh yeah.
I know the name, but I don't know anything else about him. He was a radio show host, right?
Yeah, but he had the voice, like
down the top 40. I'm Casey Kasem.
He was like Vincent Price. It was a one-of-a-kind voice.
He was in he had voices in Scooby-Doo and the cartoon Batman.
Yep.
That's pretty fancy.
Shaggy.
Look, Batman. Here's a letter from the.
He's been in a lot of stuff, and there was a little bit of controversy about where was he, and well, let's cut off his life support.
Wasn't he in like
always become Kasem's signature words?
His wife threw meat at police officers in the name of the king or something. I don't know what she was doing.
I like this lady. Wasn't he in like a Native American reservation?
He had dementia, and his whole family's crazy. I felt so bad for the man.
Sounds like a Billy Jack movie.
You guys keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for the stars. I'm Casey Kasem. Have a great day.
I don't know, though. If you want to throw meat at police and say stuff about the king, good for you. Good for you. I support you. 100%.
Okay.
It wasn't done in the cool way.
Even if it's done in a crazy way. I love crazy people.
Since we're talking about entertainment, what do you guys think about that new Star Wars they're making?
Oh, shit. I don't know.
Didn't Harrison Ford break his ankle or something? I think I read that somewhere.
He fell first.
I don't like all the computer graphics that science fiction uses now. That's the only thing I'm not looking forward to.
You would prefer, what if they made like the new Star Wars only using the shit that they had from like when they made The Empire Strikes Back? Like using puppets and using like models in front of blue screens?
No, they constructed a brand new Millennium Falcon, a brand new one, and Harrison Ford can't open the door on the Millennium Falcon. He did the Kessel Run in 12 parsecs, but he can't open the door on the Millennium Falcon. Harrison Ford, Han Solo, and he hurt his ankle.
That's what happens. That's what happens when you fix something that ain't broken, right? I mean.
Yeah, but now he's back, and the new Star Wars is pretty good.
Otherwise, I'm looking forward to it. I don't want to watch a video.
I'm just real curious from Lucian, Matt, AJ, Sam, Kyle, and Court. And if we could maybe start with Matt. What color would your lightsaber be, Matt?
Well, first of all, I had no idea there was a new Star Wars coming out.
Yes, there's a new one they're filming right now. And Harrison Ford, Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher, they're all going to be in it.
The guy that played Chewbacca, he's back.
Yeah.
If you had to pick a lightsaber color, like just...
Probably red.
Go with the red.
That would mean that you're a bad guy.
Lucian Farrow, do you want to weigh in on this, Lucian? I mean, you can decline if you want.
Yeah, I actually have a highly customizable lightsaber here that you
What
can
color is
take it all apart, put it back together in a bunch of different ways, and put these little crystals in it that make it different colors. I usually go red for a huge preference, but then I would also go full white. But I don't ever go the other colors.
Okay.
I used to have, I think, the same lightsaber you're talking about, the customizable, like you can take it apart and add different pieces and stuff. I gave it to one of my friends, though.
It's
Those are
awesome.
pretty dope.
You gave your lightsaber away?
I gave 2 lightsabers away. I used to have 2, and I sold. Well, I
that's
sold them
awesome.
to-
You're kind of like Obi-Wan. You're like kind of like Obi-Wan Kenobi there.
Well,
How are you
I
gonna
had
defend yourself
half
now,
of the
bro?
Darth Maul, and I had a buddy who had the other half, and I sold it to him so he could make the full Darth Maul.
Okay, well, we're only talking about single lightsabers. Maybe you have a double lightsaber. No one has mentioned that they have that yet, except maybe Kyle might have that. But AJ, what color would your lightsaber be?
I'm going Samuel L. Jackson's color in
The like purplish color.
yeah, the purple for sure.
Sam, lightsaber color.
I'm gonna see if they make a purple one. I want a purple
That's
lightsaber.
Mace Windu.
Yeah, that's Mace Windu.
And they don't make it, you make it, so you can make it whatever fucking color you want because you are creating it.
Yellow.
That's part of the Jedi's journey, making your own lightsaber.
Yeah, Sam's is gonna be pink.
Purple, not pink. The color of royalty,
Oh,
not the
okay.
color of
You
pansy.
just stole Bo's.
I got you. Bo already checked out. He's at the Jedi Academy. What about you, Court?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'd have to go with the classic blue Obi-Wan
Yeah, it's sort of white with
color.
like blue,
I mean,
with like a
it's
light
just-
blue hue around it, right?
Classic.
Or like bluish. Kyle, do you have a
Yeah.
single lightsaber or a double lightsaber?
I would want the lightsaber that Jay had in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. I'm trying to find it right now.
So
Yeah.
Kyle's the one of us that actually does research. He's like, I want this specific one, but I need to go research exactly. So he
He
says
wants to
right
be
here.
Cockknocker from Jay and Silent Bob.
Yeah, there's Cockknocker, Mark Hamill. I wouldn't want the Cockknocker saber, but I would want the one that Jay has. I was trying to put stupid music.
Hey, you know what's funny?
Put that on your screen again, Kyle. If you can skip to the lightsaber, let's see what we're dealing with.
Yeah,
And it's a single lightsaber though, not the double.
No, it is a double, but it has a special feature that I really like. Alright, so here, let me find the part. Pry up a little bit further.
Okay.
There's
Oh, it's kind of a dildo at the same time. Is that what you like about it?
No, that's his. His is a dildo. Mark Hamill. Cockknocker.
Oh, is that orange or red?
Or no, I think it's Silent Bob that I want. Yeah, Silent Bob.
I think it's flesh color there. Court.
Fleshlight.
A fleshlight. Anyways, mine would be the classic.
Flesh lightsaber.
Mine would be the classic sort of light blue, kind of almost looks white, like cyan, light cyan. That's what I'm going with for my lightsaber.
I want a
You know what?
bomb saber.
I hate to interrupt the entertainment section, but I wasn't around when the whole Vegas shooting went down.
Oh, Jared.
Especially.
Jared and Amanda Miller. Who
Yeah, I
was
especially wanted
calling
to.
Adam. Go ahead, Kyle. Or Court, please get
I
into this.
especially wanted to get Matt Winklejohn's take on that whole thing. What do you think about that whole scenario, Matt?
Which scenario is that?
The Vegas shooting. Well, what's your whole take on that? I mean,
Wow. There's how much time we got?
Well, here, let's
I know it's
start
a
out with this. Did you hear
broad
Adam
question.
Kokesh? Did you hear Adam Kokesh's
Just
response?
go for it, Matt. Come on, Matt.
But wait.
Help
Did
out
you hear-
our ratings with your millions of fans.
Did you hear Adam Kokesh's response to the shooting and what he said on his show the next day?
No, I didn't.
Adam Kokesh came off very much as a sympathizer, I thought. And I was listening to his show, I'm like, wow. Like, he pretty much apologized and said, I'm sorry for these people who felt no other way out and that they unfortunately felt they had to do that. And it almost sounded like he was apologizing for them. So I want to hear your take, knowing that, and I would recommend you watch that episode.
I will
It
definitely do that.
it kind of made me pissed off at Adam Kokesh. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, I mean, and I can't speak for Adam. Just from what you told me, I mean, he's a pretty pretty caring person to begin with, and if he thought these people basically thought they had no other choice and went nuts, I can see that sympathetic point of view of, it's too bad that the human spirit was broken to that point. So I can see that point of view. I say the same thing about suicide. If your spirit has been broken, that's what you do, is you decide to take your own life. I have no respect for that, but I feel sorry for you. So that's kind of where I would go with what you just said. As far as my view on what happened in Vegas, there are just way too many things that, when I first read it, and I've been trying to do better about, at one point in time, everything that happened was a false flag. Yeah, I mean, just Jesus, everything that happened seemed like it had that written all over it. And then, I actually started looking into things, and it's one of those things where I actually said it aloud with this. I'm watching it on my computer, going, "Holy shit! This has got like a false flag type vibe written all over it." And the reason I say that is because of all the things that the establishment can attack us on now, with gun rights, with the Bundy Ranch, with just the word patriot, or people that consider themselves to be patriots.
The don't tread on me flag.
The don't tread on me flag. All that stuff, and it just, why they did it. If what we're being told is the truth, I really don't care about.
Their motives and their actions don't add up. That's the thing.
Well, their motive and their actions, I really don't care about any of that, to be honest with you, anymore. It's what's the establishment? How is the establishment going to use that against us? I mean, we're on the defensive all the time anyway, and this has got it's like a 3-course meal served up right to the establishment. Here you go, eat us for dinner, because that's exactly what this entire situation has. There's nothing there. I mean, think about it. They're white, they're armed, they don't tread on me flag, Bundy Ranch, Patriot, ties with militias and stuff like that. It has everything that they can attack us on.
Yeah, and you know what? Just to throw it in there, it's they were quoted saying, "Oh, we're starting a revolution. This is the start of a revolution." Definitely ties to people who want some sort of revolution, some sort of if you will, extreme change in this country, back to the Constitution, the basis of the Constitution.
Is that Clark?
What? You can't hear me? Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Well, did you maybe think I was a ghost there for a second? But you're right. I mean, if it was real, I don't see how they think they're starting a revolution by killing 2 random cops in a pizza place and a gentleman at Walmart who was stepping up to stop the mass shooting. If it were legitimate, it definitely have. It's associating the mainstream media is definitely associating us with people that are mentally unstable, and people like that are the turd in the punch bowl, like we were saying earlier with.
Right.
But this is even worse.
Yeah, Court. That's the problem that I see with it too. Is like they're tying together everybody into one. They're painting everybody with a big broad brush.
Well,
The same color that says, "Oh." And these guys, like the guy had articles on Planet Infowars. We've had articles on Planet Infowars. The guy posted memes like, "The federal government's getting too big, and I don't really like it." Yeah, we posted that too. The guy posted Martin Luther King quotes, Gandhi quotes. It's like, yeah, we agree with that. Oh, but then he supposedly kills 2 cops at a pizzeria, takes their everything that they had on them. Were the cops wearing the bulletproof vest that guy had when he was obviously so broke from his marijuana convictions in another state that he moved to Las Vegas shortly before this happened? But enough months before it happened for you not to think that it's a weird thing that it happens, you know, like in Harry Reid's district or anything like that. And he attended the Bundy. He was there at the Bundy Ranch during the BLM, but no, he wasn't there on the historic day where the BLM
he was asked to leave
because he was asked to leave by Amon, the son of Cliven Bundy there. And
He was not asked to leave by the Bundys. He was asked to leave.
That, Matt?
He was not asked to leave by the Bundys. He was asked to leave by the Nevada militia.
Well, that's even more respectable and more disrespectful to those individuals' case, the fact that they have a history of showing up places where people are trying to do the right thing, where they're doing the provocateur, weird, wrong thing, and then their video shows up supposedly of them in a barricade at Walmart where they're just laying on the ground pointing guns at one another. Matt, did you see that video, Matt?
Yeah.
And the commentator cop says, "Oh, she just shot him," and the guy's just like, "Okay, good night," but his eyes are still wide open, and there's no nothing that you would expect to see. And then they go, "Oh, she's about to 405 commit suicide," and then just end video, Matt. Can we see anything other than right before the end video, Matt?
No, the whole thing's just fishy. I mean, it's truly one of those things.
Really, you think it's fishy too? I'm not the only one.
No, the whole thing, like you said earlier, with the motives and their actions and all that, and it just everything about the damn story is fishy, and I don't like a single bit of it. And like I said earlier, talk about ammunition against us. Holy crap! I mean, they couldn't ask for a better story to use against us.
I
agree about it.
I want to say this real quick. I have it mentioned in Louder and More Clearer. It's the last article I posted. I mentioned that it is impossible to have the Nazi ideology and the libertarian ideology side by side. And I know that's obvious to most people, but I actually lay down the radical difference between the two because a lot of people don't know. If you're watching 2 hours into the program, then you're probably somebody that already knows. Share it with someone that doesn't. Show people that the two have absolutely nothing in common. Them leaving a Nazi logo and then leaving what's the flag? The Donald Trump flag. Yes, leaving those together. That's like the Crips leaving a KKK hood. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
I was addressing that and saying that it looked like they were, if any swastika was actually really found, they were probably putting that on the police that they were disgruntled with to say that those pigs and cops are the Nazis. I don't know if you guys saw the story about a guy in the
nice.
UK.
I hadn't thought. Nice. Yeah,
you're
probably completely right there.
He was arrested by the police for impersonating an officer because he had a costume of a police officer with a pig's mask and a police hat. Anyways, that's a great story. But guys, we just hit the 2-hour mark, or we're right about to. How do you guys feel about wrapping it up? It's been a great show. We had an epic game of Who Done Said It, and I'm really proud of today's performance and show, and everyone's just joining us, and such great guests that we have that are so knowledgeable about anything we decide to talk about that it just makes for epic radio and video, in my opinion. I have a surprise for you. It's poop.
I read something
in your underwear. In your underwear there. In your underwear there, AJ. AJ, what?
Yeah.
AJ, AJ, are you about to say you have to go clean up after
No.
yourself there? Or
No, I don't even know. Sorry, I crashed out earlier. My computer rebooted because it needed to install updates. So that was.
Oh, Betty, that's just awful.
It's just so horrible. The Las Vegas shooter, the shooters. I read something not too long ago, and I can't find it right now. But some dude went through his Facebook, and they're calling him a racist or whatever, but he's sharing quotes from like Martin Luther King and Harriet Tubman, and like it's not they were just like pretty much he made it out like they were just mad at the authority and they were just sick of it, so they did what they did. But instead of
how do you feel about what AJ is saying right there, real quick?
Well, I agree. I agree that it's odd that they're labeled as white supremacists, because even in his psychotic Joker for President video, which I watched, he insinuates that he supports Gary Johnson, which is not a white supremacy candidate by any means. And I didn't see any. It strikes me. It surprises me that he'd support someone like that and be white supremacist, because he has such a strong libertarian ideology and supports gay marriage, things that they'd classically be against. So it is odd. The whole thing, it stinks to high heaven. The guy could have just lost, just fell off his rocker and just lost hope with life and wanted to go out with a bang and just found the first two cops he could find. But just think about this: the cops that are going to work to disarm people like you and me, now in their mind, people who have these libertarian, these constitutional views, decriminalization of drugs, they're going to associate us as cop killers with people like this.
Right. It's what they've done with this. I found the article. What they're spinning it so it fits into their narrative. Like, nobody wants to see a headline that says 2 officers killed by a couple angry at police brutality, or officers slain by victim of drug war, or American citizens feel oppressed so they kill police officers. Like, they don't want that out. Like, they don't want people to start thinking like that, and it's actually easier for them to box everybody in together and, you're either with us or you're with them type of mentality.
I'm Barack Obama, and I approve this message.
There's many facets to this case. There's many facets to everything that we've talked about since the beginning of the show till now, and I don't think that we fully exhausted any one topic today, because the things that we brought up, there's so much to talk about, there's so much to hear, there's so much to listen about, there's so much to go research. That's why we have so many viewers and why we have so many people participating in Kyle's super awesome game, Who Done Said It. I thought it was a great game. It's Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to everybody. We went over 2 hours. I mean, what else do you want from the Media Speaks, huh? We do this all the time. Kyle, take us out of here.
Yes.
All right, well, yeah, we were 2 hours. We had a good show, Who Done Said It, a lot of viewers, a lot of guests. We had with us today Lucian Farrow of Indigo Children Radio, who had to bump out of here a little bit early. So if you like him and you like the things that he had to say, Google search Indigo Children Radio. You can find him on YouTube. He's got a page on Facebook. Really, really good show. He's a great interviewer. I love listening to Lucian because he's very, very open-minded, like he was saying on the show today. He likes to look at things, even if he doesn't believe in what you believe, that doesn't mean that your belief in it is bad, or your belief in it very well may be leading you to something positive, whether intentionally or not. It's a really, really good show. He talks about magic. He talks with a K. He'll get mad at me if I don't say that. Magic with a K. He talks about positive thinking, sleep exercises, trying to transmit thought through the dream cycle. A lot of interesting stuff. We had Bo on, who's a friend of mine. Thank you, Bo, for coming on. Matt Winklejohn of Resist the Tyranny. Why don't you tell everybody where they can find you and what you're about?
Resist Tyranny on here on YouTube, resisttyranny.com, also Resist Tyranny 76 on Twitter, and both Facebook and G+ have Resist the Tyranny communities and like pages. So check those out. And it's all about politics. Politics and mentally preparing people for the revolution that is inevitably going to come, and how we prepare to make sure this crap doesn't happen again. With in the rebuild.
Definitely. And resistthetyranny.com is the website. Great website. AJ, can you give us a little wrap up? Anything you want to say?
Yeah, I wanted to say this when you guys were talking about hemp, and then my computer crashed. But Kentucky has legalized industrial hemp, and Spoken Do Good on Facebook, S Do Good on YouTube. I'm working on my compilation right now. It's going pretty swell. I've just been watching a whole lot of documentaries over and over again, and I'm kind of tired. I watched Thorium, an energy solution. And that's pretty good. Pretty much this dude lays out like how we can take all this nuclear waste and put it to good use.
Yeah, that's a very interesting idea. We need to talk about that more on the show, using depleted uranium shells or depleted uranium from the power plants and using it in a new way to create even more power.
Yeah, what this element or something is thorium, and there's like a whole bunch of it on the planet, like a whole bunch. And they found, like, during World War II, they knew that it was like it made energy and stuff, but it wasn't any good at making bombs, so they pretty much did away with it.
So of course we don't use it. So what was that documentary? It's just called Thorium?
Yeah, thorium, like Thor.
Thorium, it actually produces energy and basically lasts forever. I saw a report that some people still question if it's a hoax or real about a car that runs on thorium. It only needs like a rock, like a little teeny rock of thorium to run the car for like 1,000 years.
I'd have to hear more about that. I'm not sounding like a big fan of that at all.
Yeah,
but I'd have to hear the documentary.
Yeah, people
we'll do that on the next science front. For sure.
people weren't a big fan of Tesla either. Sam.
Yeah, you're gonna go.
Sam, why don't you? Hey, Mr. Science, why don't you go look it up? Thorium.
I know what thorium is. I know it's not as toxic, but as toxic is a relative word there. I know it is still nuclear. I don't really.
Do you think the thorium car is a hoax, Sam?
I'm not saying I think it's a hoax. I don't know that I like using thorium.
Well, we'll have to.
Well, go look it up. Go look it up. It's clean. It's cleaner than all the other stuff.
Sam, where can people find the correct views, and why don't you give us a quick wrap up?
Of course, the correct views, and if you haven't seen me before due to my Fukushima nuke updates, you know why I'm questioning the thorium, although I know it's not as toxic. Anyway, you can find me at The Correct Views, youtube.com/The Correct Views. Also, I'm on Facebook all the time. I'm always just posting things up there, checking stuff. If you get a chance, check out Passing Time Band, also at youtube.com. Look up the CD, The Alexandrian Solution, and thanks for listening to us this Father's Day. Good night, friends, and God bless.
D-Lake, why don't you give us a wrap-up, then Court, and then I'll close us out.
Oh, sure, great. Thanks, Kyle. I just want to say thorium's not uranium, but it is thorium. So, I mean, I don't know everything about thorium, but from what I've heard, it sounds pretty good. We should look into that in the science front. Yesterday, I covered AJ's science front story about the deep underground hidden ocean that's embedded within the ringwoodite. So, I mean, there's just so much amazing stuff on this planet all the time. And all the time, there's all kinds of news and information that we try to cover on a daily basis and always on a weekly basis every Saturday. You can find us on themediaspeaks.com on YouTube, featuring myself, Kyle, Court, Sam, AJ joining in. Today we had Matt, Lucian was in here, and Bo, and all our amazing friends. And we love it when we all come together and play such a great game of Who Done Said It and everything else. And thanks, guys, for joining. Really appreciate it. D-Lake for Prez. Find me on themediaspeaks.com.
Great. Appreciate you guys bringing me in today's show. I know I've been absent, but in my absence, I've been undergoing a lot of training for a new job that I'm getting into.
You driving
Hey,
all
don't fall asleep and almost kill Tracy Morgan. Do me that favor.
Well, I'm not driving a Walmart truck, I'll tell you that. But I'm hoping. I'm actually at a huge milestone of my training. It's still going to be in the coming months when I'm fully there. But I'm hoping by that point I'll be able to. Thank you.
And I really
I'll be
like
able to do reports.
I really like the classic RoboCort connection today.
Oh, as I roboing out. Well, it just seems like it follows me. It's a curse, but it's just how it works. It wouldn't be the same without it. But when I'm doing reports from the road in the future, hopefully I could, do things live from the scene. You know, it was unfortunate. If I was in my own truck during that whole BLM standoff, I was actually in Nevada when that happened, but I wasn't able to go because I was stuck in another driver's truck. But I actually could have been able to cover that if I was. Yeah, I was right. I was only like within 100 miles away from that, so it was unfortunate that I couldn't go. But in the future, I'll be able to do things from the road like that. I just wanted to thank you guys, and also Matt from Resist the Tyranny. And we kind of had a falling out before, but it's good to reconnect with you and see what you've been up to. I'm glad your site's been getting a lot of good ratings there. Always good to get the knowledge and information with you guys. You guys have been doing a great job.
Miss you.
And it's good to be back. I also wanted to give a shout out to FresnoForward.com. They actually link to a lot of our things from time to time. Whenever I put a post up, I see it posted on FresnoForward.com. That's connected with the whole We Are Change Fresno Liberty movement. Lots of stuff going on up there.
Oh, is that like
so
Brian
you guys have been doing a great job. Yeah, actually, Brian Sumner and Sam Chaney from We Are Change Fresno, and a few other people. Brock Tatum, also another activist up there. Also, I wanted to give a shout out to Dylan Donnelly, who's been doing a lot of basically police coverage, wrongful deaths of corrupt cops, a lot of coverage like that. That whole shooting in Salinas, he was there live for that. Beyond that, great to be back, guys. I will be back and running in the next few months. Sorry I haven't been able to attend every show, but thanks for having me on again, and I hope to join you guys more often.
Definitely. So, thank you everybody for coming on the show today. Get here and wrap it up. We've been going for over 2 hours. Thank you to Lucian Farrow for coming in today. Thank you for Matt Winklejohn, Resist the Tyranny, resistthetyranny.com, Resist the Tyranny.
This is not a travel app.
Well, that's not cool.
This is technology that lets you check
Stupid
in.
YouTube ad. Skip after 5 seconds. Thank you, Matt, for coming on from Resist the Tyranny. Everybody should go check him out. He's got really good gun coverage and Second Amendment news up on that website. Sam of the Correct Views, you can find him, Correct Views on YouTube. The Media Speaks DOT.com on YouTube, where you can find all of us. TheMediaSpeaks.com. David Lake's channel is David Lake. Anthony Quartz is Constant Injustice. Mine is The Media Sphere, or The Media Speaks DOT.com on YouTube is where you can find the culmination of all our work. Even easier, TheMediaSpeaks.com. Just go to the actual website where we have articles, videos, live shows.
What if God smoked cannabis?
Yeah, I purposely picked the most ridiculous song that I could. So thank you everybody for tuning in. Find us on Twitter at The Media Speaks, on Facebook, TheMediaSpeaks.com, and on Instagram, you can go fuck yourself because we're not posting pictures of us.